little bit before Christmas. I'm gonna leave actually the day after Christmas, so we're doing a little bit of shopping, you know, last minute of course. And since I was by myself and Heather won't know how much I spent, I figured I'd stop at Academy and pick up a few things for my hunt in Iowa. We're gonna run in here and try not to spend too much money. Just got to Iowa. I've never hunted this place. This is actually a friend of mine invited me up this year. I'm gonna try something a little different. Nobody's actually really even hunted this farm all year long. We've got 8 or 10 different spots where they're standing beam. We've got a couple standing corn plots. It's good to be back in the Midwest. I love late season muzzleloader, and if we can get some weather here, we should be able to get on a couple good bucks. How awesome is that? I got the blinds actually right here. Got a big standing food plot right here. There's a big holler right there where they should be able to be out of the wind. Awesome place to slip into. Just getting settled in. I got up early this morning, drove all the way to Iowa. Tyler come down to meet me. He lives about an hour away from here, so if we can get some weather, this should be pretty good. We got some standing corn too. It's windy, howling. It's always exciting. This is my Christmas present. First night in Iowa is in the books. Really, really windy, so that probably hurt us quite a bit. We saw a lot of does right at dark, and then a couple little bucks and one decent little. They went right to the green first. They're starting to work their way this way now, but maybe we learned a little bit, so still good to get out. It's the morning of day 2, and kind of what we got going on is I'm just driving around. I really don't like hunting mornings, late season like this. You put a lot of pressure on deer. It's really hard to get in and out without the deer seeing you, especially a big open farm kind of like this. You know, all the food is typically down in the bottom, so and you have to come off the hill to get into the bottom, and deer just see you. So we like leaving them alone, letting them go back to bed, and then maximize them our evening hunting. But I just wanted to be able to drive around this morning, get a better lay of the land, see if I couldn't see some deer, and I really haven't seen any deer this morning, so that kind of tells me, you know, that the evenings should be really good. I wanted to check this standing cornfield out we got down here. It looks pretty daggone good, so we're going to be able to slip in there this evening, and hopefully all them deer pile out off that hill over there. This standing cornfield we got down here, it looks pretty daggone good, so we're going to be able to slip in there this evening, and hopefully all them deer pile out. Pretty good little way to slip in. I guarantee you there's deer laying on them hills, you know what I mean? December 27th, and we are in an absolute gorgeous spot. There's a standing cornfield in there. There's a bunch of standing corn. And as you can see, there's hills and draws, just nasty grass and cedar draws. This is where all the bedding's at. We're in the bottom. We're really, really close to the bed.
this spot. Late season, if you're too far away, they don't make it to you in time. So hopefully tonight we get one to slip up a little bit. Still over there, something else coming behind them two little bugs. Oh, that's a good buck. It's that 8-pointer on trail camera. It's a good looking deer. What are you gonna do? I know you. We got a big 8-point just come out. We're trying to decipher it. My buddy said he thought he was 5, so we didn't get a good look at him. He went through one lane, and we're gonna have to make a decision pretty quick here. So. Hope I don't regret that. Really pretty deer. I'm not sure if I could have made him 5. We didn't get a whole long time to look at him. He didn't spend no time in it, so hopefully I made the right decision. Pretty buck. My buddy put out a few coverts, and so we're going to check a few of them here. Hopefully there's a giant on it. Another day. It's about 45 degrees today. We got a really nice west wind. This is a different spot we hadn't even seen till we walked in here. We just knew it was here based off the map that my buddy gave me. But little corner standing bean right here, and there's corn all behind us and all down here. So we noticed the deer seem like when it warms up, that they might be hitting corn a little bit more. So there's a huge bedding area all the way out through there, and a big nasty draw running right through there. So there really could be anything in here. I checked some cameras on the other side of the farm today, and nothing really to show for it. So we're hoping maybe the deer on this side, and we can see a lot, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do, is maybe if nothing else, at least see one, put our eyes on one, and then try to figure out a game plan. Look at that, yeah. That's a shooter, I would guess. If it's that same 9, I think it is. Oh, it's pretty wide. Yeah, we get a good look at brow tine. Yeah, 5 inches. All right, let's go. We're actually in the same blind that we were in last night. We only saw 4 does here last night, but on the way out, we skylined one of our shooters, and he was just on the other side of this timber. He very easily could have come down this way. Tonight, the wind's hard out of the northwest, so we felt like tonight he'd be bedded more than likely on this side of the draw, and we'd come out this way. That's our hope anyway. It's really, really, really windy. Midwest, that's usually not a good thing. We get down here to the bottom, out of the wind as much as possible. Maybe we'll get lucky. That's him, man. I don't know. I think it is. We just seen the buck from last night. Big old wide 9. We really felt like that if we got in there tonight with the wind, that he'd be laid on this side. And sure enough, he was. We didn't see very many deer, but as we were thinking about starting to kind of put our stuff together. He came out and he was at 150. We still had about a minute or two of legal shooting. But you know, it's just too dark for the camera, so.
Well, we had to encounter the 9-point over here. I mean, he was bedded for sure in there with south winds what kill us. We really can't get in on this side without them seeing us. So this cornfield right here, it's south wind, that's where we need to be for sure. All this bedding right here is phenomenal. My hope is that one of them bucks that have been on camera will show up there tonight. Perfect access right to there, slip right down the deal, get in. That's where we need to be. Today is day 5 and we're getting down to the wire. I think today's gonna be my last day. I was gonna stay through tomorrow, but weather's not really gonna change, and I'd really like to spend New Year's for a change with my family, so probably gonna hunt tonight and then surprise them when I go back tomorrow. So.
Second night, I passed a pretty good 8-pointer here. That was the last time we've had a south wind, so hoping they're more likely to come to the corn in warm weather than they would beans. Oh, yeah, right there's a deer. It's a buck, straight over in the corner. Oh, that's a pretty good buck. Oh, it looks like that 10-point from the south. He's coming this way.
We wanted to come in a little bit and kind of show you what made this hunt successful. And obviously the standing corn was a huge factor. You know, we're in cut beans, but you know, my buddy had planted a cut cornfield here, and the buck was out early, and the buck from the other night was out early, was because it is literally tucked right up against the bedroom. You can see all that CRP grass and cedars that wrap all the way around it. The deer were literally right there. He got up here behind this row of corn, and he stood here, out in here, and fed for a long time. We got here, first night we hunted it, there was just one little row of a lane, and you could not see this backside at all. You know, and they walked through the lane, 1-2 steps, and they were gone. And you know, we want to make sure we shoot a mature deer, so I actually come in here after the second night of hunt, and I just used the UTV and just run down a couple rows just so we could see back here. I mean, we couldn't see anything.
I think I smoked it.
You know, this is right where he came out at yesterday. And when he come out in a hurry. Like a lot of times big bucks, you know, once they make a commitment to come, they're coming. And he come out and he came right through my lane pretty quick. And he got
He got up here behind this row of corn and he stood here, out in here and fed for a long time. I actually come in here after the second night of hunt and I just used the UTV and just run down a couple rows just so we could see back here. I mean, we couldn't see anything. That helped us a ton because actually where we shot him was in one of the lanes that I had run down, a couple of the rows where I'd run down, so it gave us that extra time.
I think I smoked him. It's pretty crazy. We had another really beautiful buck coming in there in the back, but we knew he was young. My buddy had a picture of him, and he had him on the no-shoot list, and you could tell he was younger. But this deer, you could see he had a full neck. What we felt like was at least a 5-year-old, a beautiful 10-point. Dang, it's 4:20. He was in here at 4 o'clock, and there were more bucks coming in, but thank you, Lord.
We had the perfect access. We were able to slip right up here with the standing corn blocking us coming in from the backside, slip right up and get in the blind, and nothing ever knew we were there. I mean, it was a perfect setup for a late season. Is anytime you can tuck food and that amount of food in close to their bedding, a late season makes a lot better, even on a 45-degree day like it was yesterday. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Iowa has always been good to me. You know, our goal coming into this year was a mature deer. A really good friend of mine invited me up. It's a new place I'd never hunted. We knew there was a lot of deer on here that we were gonna have to pass, and we wanted to shoot a 5.5-year-old or older deer. That was our goal. You know, we had a couple encounters with that 9-point. I mean, it's 48 degrees out here, 50 degrees for late season Iowa. It's hard to get these deer on their feet. And this deer's probably gonna be a 6-year-old. I know he's at least a 5-year-old, and I'm very proud of that. When they get that age, they're so hard to kill. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
I want to read a verse out of Galatians 1:10. It says, "For am I now seeking the favor of men or of God? Or am I striving to please men? If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ." You know, so many times, I think so many of us struggle with this. We're always trying to please someone else. And there's nothing wrong with that in a way, as long as we're trying, number one, to please God. If we're trying to keep His commandments, if we're reading this book, if we're praying, and God's will be done. And you know what? Probably there's going to be people that don't like us. There's probably going to be people we can't please. But our focus, I believe, right here out of the Word of God says we should try to please Him, that we should keep His commandments, that we should be on our knees and our eyes should be focused on Him. And you know what? Then if someone doesn't like us, so be it. Remember, as we always say, shoot by sight, walk by faith.